Good morning, everyone. We're here about to lecture about the introduction of Windows. The oldest of all Microsoft operating system is MS-DOS, which means Microsoft Disk Operating System. MS-DOS is a text-based operating system. Users have to find commands rather than use friendly graphical user interface. Despite in every basic appearance, MS-DOS is a very powerful operating system. There are many advanced applications and games available for MS-DOS. In the history of Microsoft Windows dates back to 1985 when the Microsoft released Microsoft Windows version 1.01. Microsoft's aim was to provide a friendly user interface known as graphical user interface. In 1987, Microsoft revamped the operating system and released the Windows 2.03. The GUI was very slightly improved, but it looks too similar in the Windows 1.01. Number 1. What is operating system and the basic of Windows? Windows is an operating system designed by the Microsoft. The operating system is to allows you to use computer. Windows comes to preloaded the most personal computers, which helps you to make the most popular operating system in the world. Different types of Windows operating system. Number 1 is the Windows OS version for the PC. The initial version of the Windows operating system launched in 1985. Introducing users of MS-DOS is the text-based operating system that was the main Microsoft OS to graphic the more computer mouse. Number 2 is the Windows OS version for server. In the addition of making software for the home business PC user, Microsoft has a long-made software including version of Windows. For server, the high-power machine that provides power website and big companies. In 1993, Microsoft launch was called Windows NT. It was the operating system designed for server and a high-power workstation running code separate from the DOS-based PC version of Windows. In 2000, a new server product was released called Windows 2000 Server. Windows would all have Windows to server their name all the way through the today's version. Initially known as the Windows Servers 2016 is simply called Windows Server. The server operating system, which generally support of more powerful computers and designed to use by multiple users at once, are designed for workloads to run the backgrounds rather than directly interface with user. And the next is Windows OS version for phones. Microsoft has released number of operating system for smartphones. And before that, Personal Data Assistant, the earliest version released in late 1990s, used the brand new name Windows CE for compact edition. And the devices were very low powered and simple compared to the other smartphones today's. Starting in the early 2000s, Windows-powered operating systems were released under the name of Windows Mobile for phones and PDAs known as Pocket PC. The first to launch with a modern smartphones application similar to iPhone. An Android operating was Windows Mobile 6.5, which released in 2010. And the next year, the company released a new operating system that keep the numbering, but as on the Windows Phone 7, changed the word mobile to phone. It introduces the numbers and the numbering, but as soon as including tiles for individual apps. The software was critically received, I believe, from some users, failed to gain traction to the level of Apple iOS and Google's Android operating system. Windows Phone 8, launched in 2012, was the first to share code of the company computers. Software in 2014, Windows Phone 8.1 became the first include Cortana. a voice-powered virtual assistant similar to iPhone Siri. The latest phone software is known as a Windows 10 Mobile, and it's designed to emphasize similar to desktop. It's only available for a limited number of phones. Isn't widely adopted. What is the basic of the computer's Windows? Number 1, introduction to the Windows Basic. The page discussing basic Microsoft Windows concept and terminology. It discusses how to perform some basic Windows tasks. Windows and its component. The main component of the Windows when you start your computer are desktop. My computer recycle bin, start button, taskbar, and the shortcut application. After you opening the application, you will also have a window which active application will appear in your desktop and taskbar. The following are some of the terms used to describe the Windows desktop you are likely to run. Most are indicated in the diagram below this. Number 1 is the desktop. Desktop is referred to the background of your screen on which virus program likely to run it. Think your computer screen as your electronic desktop. Number 2 is the icons. Are those small pictures on the desktop and inside the folder that represent various programs, specialized folders, and etc. Number 3 is the folders. Are container that contains icons, programs, data, or other folder. Number 4 is a title bar. Refers to the bar on the top of the open windows. The folder is titled when you are what folder it used for. It contains the minimize, maximize, and close buttons. You can use title bar to move the windows around. And number 5 is the cursor. It is the graphic pointers which indicates where the mouse is, what the sort of action it is performing. The cursor will change the default arrow to various shape according to the purpose it is serving at the time. And number 7 is the taskbar. Refers to the bar usually to the bottom of your Windows screen. It's a movable containing the start button on the left and the clock group icons to the right. And number 8 is the scroll bar. Appears with more information in the window that can be displayed, and usually vertical scroll bar. But horizontal scroll bar appear in a window it's too narrow. And number 9 is the address bar. Tell you your location to provide the tools to navigate around the computer. They're sitting a window very can modified. And the number 2 is the user interface. The user interface is the point of human-computer interaction and communicating device. This can be include display the screen, keyboard, mouse, and appearance of a desktop. It also waits through user to interact an application or a website. The growing independence of many businesses on the web application is a mobile application has led many companies to place increased priority. A is using mouse and moving icons on the screen. The computer mouse controls the graphical mouse pointer or mouse cursor on the screen. Here are some basic mouse operation. Number 1 is the point. When you told the point the mouse, you move the mouse on the desktop, which the mouse pointer on the screen to point something interested or not. And the next is click. Click is a press or the mouse button. One press is release of the main button. The one on the left is the action makes clicking sound, which is where this maneuver gets its name. And the next is the right click. This action is the same as click, although the right mouse button is used. And the next is double click. This one word just like a single click, although you click twice at the same spot, usually rather than rapidly. And the next is drag. The drag operation is done to drastically pick something of the screen to move it on. To do that, you point the mouse at the thing you want to drag. Press the hold mouse and button which pick up and move the mouse to another location. And the last one is the right drag. This action is the same as a drag, but is the mouse's right button used. Many of these basic mouse operating can be combined with a key and the keyboard. For example, shift click means holding down the shift key on the keyboard while clicking the mouse. And the next is the computer icon. The computer My computer is in a Microsoft Windows computer. My computers allow the user to access the local drive, such as local disk, also known as the C drive. The user can also access the internal drives. My computer folder primary is purpose to provide shortcut to Windows Explorer. You can open Windows Explorer to the system display, double-clicking the right-clicking the selecting open. The active updates and restoration. The computer folder also provides shortcut to the system restoration and system update. To open the window, right-click on the computer folder, select the properties. And then the last one is the recycle bin. Recycle bin is a location where deleted files or folders are temporarily stored in a version of the Microsoft Windows. Since Windows 9.5, the recycle bin allows user to recover files have been like in your version window. In newest version of Windows, the recycle bin icon may be hidden by default. If this icon is missing, you may need to show the recycle bin to see this tab. To open the recycle bin, double-click the recycle bin icon to the computer desktop. If done correctly, a new recycle bin windows will showing all the files in the recycle bin.
Status bar. A status bar is a graphical control element which possesses an information area typically found at the Windows bottom. Menu. Menu is a list of options, commands, shows, or presented on the display of computer from which a user can select the operation of computer is to form. A menu may either be a system entire user interface or only part of more complex one. A menu bar is a T, horizontal bar containing the labels of drop-down menus in operating system, graphical user interface. It provides the user with a standard place in a window to find a majority of a program's essential functions. The menu key, also known as application key. A key is found of some Windows-oriented keyboards. The key is usually one of the bottom right on the keyboard. Next is the control key, but it can be placed in a different location by keyboard of manufacturers. Start menu. Start menu is a Microsoft Windows Start menu. It's a primary location in window located in your installed programs and find any files or folders. Start buttons. In computing graphical user interface, the label button in some version of the Microsoft Windows operating system is often a directory of a computer software program's own files. Menu selection. Menu selection is permits to specify controls entire by pointing and display option the key associated codes. The good menu indicates the current position of a hierarchic menu structure. The bad menu shows an alternative design for the same functions. There are running menu application. Computers exist of one basic reason. To run an application is a program that performs some useful functions. For example, there are applications that create spreadsheets, play games, editing photos, and access email to only a few. Computers exist from one basic reason: to run application. An application is a program that performs some useful function. For example, there are applications that create spreadsheets, play games, and buttons, and access email, to name only few. If your application requires argument, you can enter an argument when open an executable and open executable dialog box. Windows Explorer. Windows Explorer is a file manager used by the Windows 95 latest version. It allows users to manage files, folders, networks, and connections, as well as search and file-related components. Windows Explorer has also grown to support new features and related file management such as playing audio and videos and launching programs, and etc. The desktop and the taskbar also from the Windows Explorer. Start Windows 8, the ribbon interface that introduced the Windows Explorer. Now called File Explorer, this feature provides the user with all commands needed to file management, viewing and files folder and the directories. In Windows 7, Use the Window Explorer to review and file in folders on your system. While you are numerous ways of open Windows Explorer, at least there are click Window Explorer icon in the taskbar. There are creating and remaining files on the folders. Open File Explorer from taskbar. Select View option, Change folder, and Research options. Select the View tab and Advanced Settings and Show Hidden Files folder and drives and OK. What is the difference between the file and a folder? The basic difference between the two of the file store data, while the folder is store files and the folders. The folders often refer to directories are used to organize files on your computer. The folders themselves take up virtually no space on the hard drive. How do you create a file? Negative on the Florida desktop, you would like to create your file, for example, My Documents. Right-click an empty section on the Florida window to desktop. Select New from your context menu. Select the type of view you'd like to create. Enter a name in the newly created file, open a new file, and edit it. How do I create a new file folder? Method 1. Go to the area where you want to create the folder. It's easy as example the computer desktop, but you can create a folder anywhere on your computer. Right-click the blank space doing drop-down menu. Select New, pick Folder, type in the name of the folder and press Enter. Rename a file folder. It's when the file manager you can use files to change the name of the folder. Rename to file a folder. Right-click on an item and select Rename, or select a file and press F2. Type of new name and press Enter to click Rename. You can also rename a file properties window.
Go. Valid characteristic for file names. You can use any character except the / character in file names. Some devices, however, use a file system that has more restriction on file names. Therefore, it is a best practice to avoid the following characteristic in your names. If you name a file with the first character, the file will be hidden when you attempt to view it in the file manager. Common problems in renaming a file or folder. The file name is already in use. You cannot have two files or folders with the same name in the same folder. If you try to rename a file to a name that already exists in the folder you are working in, the file manager will not allow it. The file name is too long. On some file system, file names can have no more than 255 characters in their names. This 255 character limit includes both the file name and the path to the file. The option to remain in grayed out, it remain is grayed out. You do not have permission to rename the file. You should use caution with remaining such file, as remaining some protected files may cause your system to become unstable. Opening and closing of different windows. To open an application window. To close an application window. Window setting. Setting or window setting is component of Microsoft Windows which was introduced in Windows. It allows the user to customize and configure the operating system Microsoft intends it eventually replace to existing control panel. Concept of menu using help. As help system, sometimes called a help file, is a documentation component of a software program that explains the features of the program and helps the user understand its capabilities. A byte-like an extensive, organized, and thorough collection of FAQ, frequently asked questions. The help system purpose is to provide the answer that a user needs to understand to use the program effectively. How to use the help menu. Select the help menu and press F1. You will see a help page about all the different subjects listed in the pull-down menu. Contents takes you to help contents page. Starting right takes you to the starting right help page. Quick user guide take you to convenient user's guide to step through all the basic navigation, function, and feature. How to display a list of all the how-to topics in the help index. Keyboard tips show you all the keyboard key combination and shortcut key. Index display the help index and alphabetically directory of all topics in help system. Advanced windows using right bottom of the mouse. When you press the one on the right, it is called a right click. By default, the left bottom, it is the main mouse button and is used for common tasks such as selecting objects and double-clicking. The right mouse button is often used to open contextual menus, which are pop-on menus that range depending where you click. How to right-click without the mouse. User running Microsoft Windows can also use the keyboard's shortcut Shift plus F10 to right-click in the mouse programs or press the menu key on Windows keyboards. Ways to open PC settings on Windows 10. Way 1. Open it in the Start menu. Click the lower left Start button on the desktop to expand Start menu and the select setting in it. Way 2. Enter setting with the keyboard shortcut. Press Windows plus on the keyboard to access settings. Way 3. Open settings by search. Control panels. The control panel is a component of Microsoft Windows that provides the ability to view and change system settings. It consists of a set of applets that include adding or removing hardware and software, controlling user accounts, changing accessibility options, and accessing network settings. The control panel is consists of Windows is a software module used to perform administrative and management operating system tasks and provide access to specific software features. Wallpaper and screensavers. Wallpaper is the picture of our background you see when you start your computer, while a screensaver runs when your computer is idle. The length of time your computer needs to be idle before the screensaver starts is determined by the user. Both can be found through the control panel of the display, or you can right-click on the empty spot on your desktop and select Properties. Setting the date and sound. Keep your system time accurate because Windows uses it to timestamp file and email, schedule tasks, and record events. If the clock doesn't appear in the notification area, right-click an empty area of the notification area. Choose customize notification icons. Click turn items icons on or off and the turn on clock. Set the date and time. Choose start control panel, clock language and region. Date and time, or click the clock in the taskbar's notification area, then click change data and time settings and right click the taskbar clock and choose adjust date or time. Choose start, type data and time in the search box and then press enter. On the date and time tab, click change date and time, adjust the date and time as needed and then click OK. Sound setting. Adjusting the volume and changing the system sound setting. And Windows 10 has only been a straightforward process, but you were able to manage them using control panel. However, starting with the Windows 10, April 28 update, you can now manage speakers and microphone settings, and it also possible to adjust the volume on apps and system sound individually using the settings app. To adjust your sound setting, press menu and the select apps and more. Creating shortcuts. Shortcuts are the great way to quick access programs, files, folders, and even websites. They can be conveniently placed on your desktop or in certain directories or folders. There are few methods used to achieve this result. To proceed, make your section from the list below. In Windows, a shortcut is an icon that points to a program or data file. Shortcuts can be placed on the desktop or stored in the other folders, and clicking a shortcut is the same as clicking the original file. However, deleting a shortcut does not to remove the original file. Create a shortcut for a program file. Open the folder or directory that contains the program or file you want a shortcut. Right-click on that program file and click Create Shortcut. Once done, this creates a shortcut name, shortcut your program files, or your program files shortcut in the current directory. If you want to rename this shortcut, right-click the file and click Rename. Once the steps above and completed, you can copy or cut the shortcut and paste it in a Word. Create a shortcut from a folder. Open the Windows File Explorer by pressing the Windows key and E at the same time. Browse to the folder that contains the program for which you could like to create a shortcut. Right-click on the program and select Create Shortcut from the drop-down menu that appears. Notepad. Notepad is a simple text editor for Microsoft Windows and basic editing program which enables computer user to create documents. It was first released as a mouse-based MS-DOS program in 1983 and has been included in all versions of Microsoft Windows since Windows 1.0 in 1985. It supports tape editing which allow working with multiple open files in a single window. The Notepad is a text editor included with Microsoft Windows. A text file is considered a plain text file in Notepad. It's only capable of creating and editing plain text files in Notepad. Save any text file with a text file extension, which means no special formatting or fonts can be used. Open Notepad by pressing the window key or CTRL-ESCNN. You can also open it by pressing the window key and R. If necessary, typing Notepad and pressing Enter, press Ctrl to paste the plain text into the blank file, and type Alt F of the open save of dialog box. How to find Notepad and Windows. How do I open a Notepad file? Open the command prompt, press Windows R and run, or Window A, press Window X and select Command Prompt and type Notepad to run the program. On its own, this command open notepads in the same way as you had loaded into the Start menu or Start screen. How do I use Notepad on my computer? Open Notepad, Windows 7, open your Start menu and type Notepad. In the search box, explore the Notepad user interface. Once Notepad is open, you will see a simple screen with a limited set of the text editing options. Open the file menu, format your page setup, add a header or footer.